Hello, indeedy, and welcome to the show. Now you probably noticed I haven't got my headset on tonight because I'm having some weird software issues yet again, which is kind of I'm just moving the camera lighting around. Anyway, welcome to the show, and this is obviously Spirit Quest on live with you now on this beautiful starry night here in Cornwall. Where are you tonight, and where are you around the world? You're listening to us on United Public Radio Network on 105.3, going right up to 107.7 FM, coming to you live from New Orleans. I hope you're fine tonight, and I hope you're having a great day, no matter where you are. It's 9 p.m. here in the UK, so therefore it's about 4 p.m. Eastern. So I hope you're having a wonderful, powerful afternoon. Welcome to the show. Come on in and say hi. And tonight's topic, now, and the reason why what I'm going to do is it's a 2 hour show. So I was, previously I was thinking about a topic for the first half of the show and then another topic for the second half of the show. And I was thinking, well, that's kind of like being a little bit greedy. So I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll do the topic for the first half of the show and I'll let you choose the second half. So we kind of like go into like a discussion all the way through the show. It is a chat show. It is an interactive chat show. And I am Paul Francis and I'm here with you now, live. Come and talk to me. So tonight's my decision on the first part of the show is a question I get asked pretty much weekly. What happens when we die? What happens? What actually happens when we die? So we'll discuss that. I will tell you my version of what I've picked up over 30 years working as a private specialist medium in the field, dealing with people who are dealing with loss, dealing with a professional psychic medium, and all of the information I've picked up working with spirit for the last 30 odd years as well, I will share with you. Um, at the end of the day, it's all down to everybody what they think it is. But what I will sort of empower you with is what I've seen, felt, and heard, and dealt with directly with spirit on the other side of life. So Lynn's joined us already on in the chat room, but make sure you guys come in and say hi. So if you're watching me on Facebook, don't forget on Facebook. It is probably better that you go across over to YouTube, click on the YouTube channel, and come live in there. That's probably the best, all right, because it's far more stable. It's a lot stable, more stable than Facebook. The amount of complaints I've been getting of from people saying, "Okay, listen, I was watching you on Facebook, and all of a sudden, boom, gone. I couldn't talk to you anymore." And that's going to lose listeners after listener after listener, which is not something I really want. So I want to build a listener. So I really want you guys to be sharing the show. Now, from what I can gather, over 4,500 listeners so far, which is fantastic. Let's buckle that up to 8, shall we? Come on. We can do it together. If you guys are all listening to me, and we're a part of that 4,000 listeners, brilliant. Thank you. All you got to do is tell one other person. That's all you got to do. Do you know what? Use the power of three. Power of three. Easy. Use the power of three and bump it up to a minimum of 8,000. Come on, we can do that. We can do that inside of a week. Easy. So I've got Facebook users saying, "Hi, Paul, how are you? Double kiss." Again, please zip across to YouTube. Click into YouTube. In the YouTube channel bar, just type in Paul Francis Medium. Okay, that'll take you directly to the show, and you'll see the link, and you can come straight in, and I can see exactly who you are. So I don't have to. You'd literally come up on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you up on screen. Watch, look, boom. That's how I see you. See where it says there, "Hi, Paul, how are you?" Kiss, kiss. That's how I see. I don't know who it is, so I can't say. I'd love to be able to say your name. I'd love to be able to see your lovely little icon, but I can't. So zoom across there to YouTube, click on Paul Francis Medium. You'll come straight through the show, and I'll be able to see exactly who you are. But anyway, thank you for being here. Nonetheless, thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it. So tonight's show is literally all about what happens when we die. That's the question. I get asked that so often, so often, from many different people who are frightened about those that they've lost. So just, we'll deal with it, and we'll talk about it, and we'll discuss it, because it is an interactive show and we are working together. So come across and do that with me on YouTube. Jill Cummings, hi Jill, hello my darling, how are you? Lovely to see you. Thanks for being here, guys. Go into Jill, just zip into, just don't close down Facebook first. Just open up on YouTube. In the search bar, type Paul Francis Medium, and it'll bring you straight through to the show, and you'll be able to see it. It says live right now as we speak, and I'll be able to see your lovely face, and it's a lot more stable. Now, question: can you guys hear me? Okay, can you guys hear? Am I coming through audibly? Because uh, we had an update, software update, and it's just knocked my computer for six. And 1 minute the sound cards are all working, next minute they're not working. So there's obviously a software issue with the sound cards. So that's why I'm not wearing my headset tonight, and I'm talking to you freelance, so to speak. So tell me, guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me clearly? That's all I really, really need to know. So, Jill Cummings, nonetheless, wonderful to see you. Now, come on, guys, share the show, get it out there. Tell everybody we're live right now. Tell them to come in and see us, and we are live on multiples of outlets throughout the world at this moment in time. So let's make it happen, Captain. What do you think happens when we die? Okay, it is an interactive show. I'm interested in hearing your perspective. I'm interested in hearing what you think might happen. We spoke a couple of weeks back about NDEs. So if you have experienced an NDE, near-death experience, you got a fair close sort of indication of what goes on. So let us know. Let me know what you think. I'm never going to turn around and say, "Oh, you're wrong." I'm never going to say that. It's not for me to it's not for me to even consider that, let alone say it. So I've listened to, oh crikey, I can't remember how many NDEs, near-death experiences, and very few are exactly the same as each other. Very, very few. I'm just gonna put some background on that because it sounds a bit flat, doesn't it? So there we are. Facebook user, hi. So we got Jill Cummings on Facebook. So the person who just come in to join me on Facebook, hi, hello. But as you can see, I can't see who you are. So it just says Facebook user, hi. I just brought you up on screen, as you can see, bottom left-hand corner there. I can't see who you are. So all Facebook persons, all people who are listening to me on Facebook tonight, go on to YouTube. Easier and far more stable. Alrighty. We're leaving Facebook behind until Facebook gets all itself sorted out. Because you know what? I actually had a message through Facebook today saying you're posting too many times on your page. Now, I thought it was my page. And I literally got a message from Facebook saying you're posting too many times on your page. So how can you win? How can you possibly win? Fanula Carlin. Fanula, hello, my love. How are you? Lovely to see you. Guys, listen, tell everybody that we're live tonight. Get it out there and share the show. Hazel Fern, welcome to the show, Hazel. How are you? Good to see you. Fanula, my darling, I'm telling everybody, go into YouTube, open up YouTube on your computer or on your phone. Go into YouTube, go into the search bar on YouTube and type in Paul Francis Medium. It'll take you straight to my channel and you'll see the live there. Click on the live and it's far more stable, okay? Facebook, from what I can hear in the news, is losing followers left, right, and center. And it's not. It's very clear to understand why they're losing it, because they're just have no. What I picked out, what I figured out quite recently, I was doing some reading, and it's robotics that is doing it. So robots. So robots. When I say robots, I'm not talking about a little metal person sitting there going. It's literally software that is primed to look for different things, and basically it's doing it all wrong. There was one instance where I saw this young girl who was putting up a post to help people with having issues with spots, and it took down her entire page because it said that she was being rude to people with spots when she was saying, no, here's how you fix it. So it's all, I mean, when people are allowing computers to make the decisions, where are we going? Where are we going with that? Julia Evans, hey, I'm here, Julia. Welcome. Lovely to see you. Thanks very much. Thanks very much for being here. I haven't lost my mind. No, not at all. Not at all. Um, but thank you for taking the time out. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being here. But share the show, guys. Tell everybody we're live. We haven't got a huge amount of people zooming into the chat room just yet. Normally, it's kind of like whoosh, there's a lot of people here, but for some reason it seems to be dragging a little bit tonight. I'm going to lay that one at the Facebook feed as well. No, tonight's show, the first half of tonight's show, I'm dedicating to the topic of what happens when we die. Trust me, I have a lot of people contact me saying, can we book you for reads? And I'm like, yes, and yes in instances, no in other instances. A lot of people want me to do one-to-ones directly in their homes. I can't do that just yet. Reason being is I've still got this, as you can hear in my voice, I've still got this cold stroke COVID thing. So visiting people on a one-to-one while I'm carrying this blooming cold COVID thing is not a good idea. So I'm happy to do any one-to-ones and group sessions virtually, like I'm doing this with you guys right now. So if you want me to, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, by the way, we can figure that out. If you want me to do a one-to-one or a group session for you and you're in the United States, we can make that happen. It's not a problem. So, because I can do it like this and we can make it all happen. Now, until I get rid of this long-term COVID thing, I'm going to be refraining from doing live one-to-ones in people's houses. Until this is gone. Apparently, they wanted to give me 14 days. That 14 days is up next week. So let's figure that out. As you can hear, I'm getting a lot clearer than I was last week because I was really dosed up last week. But we're not here to talk about my cold and my COVID. So we're here to talk about you guys. It's an interactive show, and you're not interacting. Talk to me. Talk to me. If you'd like to come on the show, I can make that happen too. You can come and talk to me on the show live. How about that? Make it happen, Captain. Now, what is your thoughts? What do you think happens when we let go of this mortal coil, this physical life that we have? What do you think happens? I'm really interested to hear from you. I'm not judging you. Don't please for 1 second say like, oh, well, you know a lot more than I do. I may not. I had a discussion today with a dear friend, and we were talking about religion. And we spoke about literally what religion works and what religion may not work and blah, 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 blah. And literally, I said to him, why don't they just release the original scrolls? And he said, what do you mean? I said, the original scrolls from where the Bible came from. The original scrolls were written in Sanskrit. Why didn't they just release that and let people read them directly? Because you cannot transcribe Sanskrit to English. It can't be done because it's not like it's not like French to English or German to English or Spanish to English. It doesn't work in the same way. Sanskrit is completely different. It's like trying to transcribe Chinese to English. You can't do it. Eileen Blackman, hello, welcome to the show. The lovely Eileen Blackman. Now, Eileen, thank you for coming through. You've come through on Facebook. Thank you so much. I am sort of saying, why don't you go across to YouTube, Eileen, and come in on the show via YouTube because it's a lot more stable. Because you could be chatting away to me, Eileen, on Facebook, and then you'll just get cut off, and you'll think I did it, or Facebook sends you a message saying I'm controlling them, who talks to me and who doesn't. That's not true. Okay, it is an algorithm that the Facebook people have put in place, not me. But it's good to see you, Eileen. Welcome. Now, once again, tonight's show is all about, well, the first half of the show is all about the concept of what happens when we go, when we cross over, when we die. Tonight we're coming to you live from New Orleans on 105.3 and 107.7 on the United Public Radio Network. And all on the strength of Joe and the team, Joe and Michelle. Thank you so much for all the work that you guys do. And Amelia, who I haven't seen a lot of Amelia actually recently. I hope she's well. Hope she's doing good. But Amelia is one of the main reasons I'm here in the first place. But so thank you to you guys. It's very, very kind of you. And just to let you all know that we are now on Roku TV. Yes, indeedy. We have a channel on Roku TV. We are going to be, well, we're going to be, we are actually on Roku TV. So if you've got Roku TV, you can watch us on there. How cool is that? Lynn says, I keep getting temporarily blocked for sharing too many times. They invite you to join groups, and when you share to the groups, I get blocked. And that's why I was blocked so often. I was blocked a lot. I was in Facebook jail so many times from that I've just got fed up with it. And that's the reason why I have really focused on bringing Reach Across and Spirit Quest to YouTube and through StreamYard onto multiples of outlets, which now include the amazing Roku TV. Now, come on through to me tonight. Share the show. Tell all your friends and family where we are. Tell them where to come and see us. And again, lean towards YouTube. It's far more stable. But I want to hear your point of view. I want to hear your thoughts on what happens when we die. You know, when we literally let that last breath go. Before we go into that, it may sound it's a little bit painful. It's not. Let me just tell you why. Because I remember doing a read, okay, many moons ago. It was sort of fairly early into my career, and I was doing a read. And I remember discussing with this energy the information between him, me, and the people in front of me. And I used the words to this person that I was dealing with on the other side of life. I said, but you're dead. How would you know? And his words came back to me. I mean, it wasn't like I'm chatting to you. It came back to me. And he went, if I'm dead, how could I be talking to you? And I just sat back. I shared it with the people that were in front of me, and it was a bit of a giggle going on. And at the end of the read, when they left my office, I sat back in my office chair. I remember this so vividly. I actually got up. I went and sat in the sofa where the clients sit, stretched my leg out, and literally meditated on what he said. If I'm dead, how could I be talking to you? And I never, ever forgot that. Tess Miners. Hello, Tess. How are you, darling? Welcome to the show. Lovely to see you. Loretta Lewis. Hi. Welcome. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Guys, don't forget, please share the show. Now, if you're watching me on Facebook, please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe and click the bell icon, okay? Because that'll tell you every time we come live on the show. And if you click on the bell icon, you're never going to miss a show as well. Now, here's the big thing, right? I'm offering some giveaway gifts. Now, you saw we just had a new beanie hats. I done a picture of myself in it the other day. We've got the new beanie hats with the Diamond Star logo in the middle, okay? And the Diamond Star was chosen for a reason, because the diamond means clarity of thought, and that's why diamond's clear. Clarity of thought, okay? The star, which is a pentacle, which is the symbol for protection, and the circle of protection that goes around that is the whole descriptive of that particular design on the Diamond Star Productions hats. So they're available now in baseball hats. They're available now in beanies. And the reason why we had them done is because a lot of people, when we start going to the paranormal investigations, they get cold, and the beanies are really toasty, by the way. I'm doing great. I'm doing great, Tess. Thank you so very much for asking. I'm literally getting past this COVID cold thing, this mixture, whatever it is. I'm sure they're going to make another one up in next month. But anyway, I've had this cold. It came on as a cold first, literally 6 weeks ago. And then I got diagnosed as having in that cold COVID. So they've said, you've got this, whatever it's called, They gave me a name. I can't remember, but they reckon that it'll be out of my system by next week. So I'm doing good. I feel fine. I don't have the aches and pains and the headaches that I did have. So thank you very much for asking, and I do hope you are well. And I really appreciate you taking the time out. So come on, guys, tell me what you think. What's your thoughts on what happens when we cross over? Now, if you've actually experienced a NDE, near death experience, then you do have a little bit of an indication of what happens. Okay. All NDEs are not the same. I've never met two people whose NDE were exactly the same. There's similarities, obviously, rising above the body, seeing your own body below, or standing beside your own body whilst things are going on. Or, like in my instance, I was taken out and up into a room with a lot of people. So we'll discuss that. So that's an NDA, so near death experience. So it's a kind of like a step between the physical and the metaphysical beyond life. Hi, Paul, says Facebook user, and I will show you what you look like, and then I'm bringing it up on screen. Look, that's what I get to see. Thank you for being here, but I can't see who you are, and I'd love to say hi to you. So this is what happens when people come through Facebook. First of all, I'm very, very grateful for you being here. 100% genuinely grateful. But what I suggest is to everybody is to go through YouTube. Okay, open up YouTube, go in there, and when you open YouTube, there's a search bar at the top. Click in there, Paul Francis Medium. It'll take you straight to my channel, and you'll see the little live logo. Click on that, and you'll come right back into the same show that you're in right now. But I'll be able to see who you are and what you're doing. Dawn Hatsam, hi Dawn. Hello, my love. How are you? Good to see you. How's Truro tonight? I hope it's treating you well. Good to see you. Thanks for being here, and a lovely green heart. And that's that. Well, obviously, did you know the chakra colors? The green heart. The green is the color of the chakra of the heart. Did you know that? Good to know, buddy. I have a little wow. What's a wow? And you took my advice. Thank you, sweetheart. I'll bring you tons of love. I've got Holly. Oh, what say I've got Holly. We've got Holly. Who literally just brings so much love. It's untrue. Undying love and devotion to the family, and it's reciprocated. Our family gives that. I'll tell you what we'll do. That's a really, really good idea. Let's look at our connections, our spiritual connections to our animals, maybe for the second half of the show. Look who's in the house, my darling pal, Crystal Rose. Hello, my love. How are you? We need to get together again and get you on the show. All right. We need to start looking at dates again and get you on the show. I was supposed to have moved by now, but we haven't. Still rubbish. But we'll let's get some dates together, Crystal, and get you on the show, and we can have a great conversation about whatever you want. Let's get you on in next week or the week after, and we'll get a great topic going. So Tess, you've gone ahead and got yourself a dog, and that will just, first of all, it'll de-stress you beyond words. You'll just get so de-stressed, and you'll get fitter. Your strength you'll just get fitter because you'll take your little dog for a walk. You'll enjoy your connections to nature. You enjoy connections to, if you take her down or him down to the ocean, amazing energies, and it just makes you happy and happier and happier having a pet in your life. I don't even think we should be calling them pets. I think we should be calling them our furry companions. Dawn says, all good, grey and dull as usual. Yes, I know my chakras, and that's where I go do the green heart. There you go, Dawn. Get in there, girl. Is it grey and dull and true? Because we've got stars here in Helston, and we're only 15 miles apart. It's amazing, isn't it? We got I'm seeing all the stars out through the studio window right now. Beautiful nights. Oh, I love the stars. I can stargaze forever. And I let go of my stress. I go out of an evening with Holly and just stand there and just stare at the stars and just let go. Oh my goodness, just let it all go. So there you go. Crystal Rose says next week will be fab. That's good. It's a date. Let's get you on the show next week. And so my guest next week, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here first. Crystal Rose. Crystal Rose. Do 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 is on the show next week. I'm gonna have to create some decent jingles for my guests as they come on. Right. So I've got this. Okay, let me just bring that out. There we go. Have you seen your space, CR, as it's lately? Have you seen your space, CR, as I don't know what that means. Sorry. Please let me know what that is. Have you seen your spacecraft? Oh yes, yes I have. Yes, we filmed it. Well, we've not. I doubt it's the same one, but we filmed this this light above Cold. It's they seem to come over Culdrose. Now, Orneas Culdrose is a Royal Naval Air Station. Now, the weird thing about it was, I saw this light because it's not like a star. First of all, it was one part of the sky for a while, and next thing it was over Culdrose. Now, the weird thing about it was at 3 o'clock in the morning, I heard these jets, big jets, going around. Karen White says, please don't sing. Thank you, Karen. Thank you very much. Do you know I have 5 albums out? Please don't sing. That's pretty kind of you. Yeah, so anyway, I've photographed this this light in the sky, and I've got it in 2 formats. Number one, it's phase, and when it phases out, you can actually see the shape of the disc. And then I got it in another phase as it moved off, and it's like a white line. I'll put it up after the show so you guys can see it. But yeah, it was here only a couple of days ago. That's uncanny that you should say that. Weird that you should say it, in fact. Yeah, it was here a couple of days ago. That's mad. And it's not in the sky tonight, so it isn't a star. So people say, oh, you know, you're just photographing a star. No, a star, if a star is going to be a star, it's there. You know, it doesn't decide to be here one week and gone the next. Eileen's moved over here. Good on you, Eileen. Thanks very much, my love. Yes, they are. They seem to be attracted to places like Stonehenge and places like that. I'm an avid watcher of the shows that are dedicated to not only just paranormal, but especially visitors. You know. Crystal says, I'll bring that up so everybody can see that. Crystal says, time seems to stand still when spaceships are around. I'm pretty confident that they're here a lot more. Now, I was watching a TV show yesterday. Oh yeah, it's actually on YouTube. It's actually called. If you go to YouTube and after the show, not while I'm on, and type in "I know what I saw," it's an entire documentary movie dedicated to multiples of sightings, and the movie is called "I Know What I Saw." Okay, and it's even people like George Lucas and Steven Spielberg have all made comments saying this will change your life. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll watch this, and I watched it, and it did change my life because I'm an avid watcher of stuff like this. I watch the skies at night. It's something that brings me peace, tranquility. So why not? Are we the only people in the universe? No, by far, no. But what I heard on this show blew my mind. Like one pilot flying, and it was an English pilot, and he was flying over the Isles of Guernsey, and they're flying an airliner. So they weren't. It wasn't Joe Bloggs in his little Cessna. It was a fully trained airline captain, and they saw 2 spacecraft just off the Guernsey coast, and going by what they saw, these craft were roughly a mile wide. Think about this, guys. There was 2 of them, and they were a mile wide each. What? What? My goodness. Tess says they're down in Pendine. Yeah, Pendine is they're seen down there a lot. Pendine Lighthouse. They're seen here at Culdrose, and Culdrose is just off the edge of the ocean. Obviously, RNAS is a naval station, so it's very close to the ocean. Now, Ancient Aliens I've watched as well. I mean, there's so much that links our past to our present, and you've got when they first opened up, for an example, the pyramids. When they first opened up in some of the pyramids, they find paintings and pictures in the pyramids of silver people with almond-shaped heads and silver discs inside the pyramids. Hello, anybody home? Hello. Now, the pyramids, I don't know if you know, are in line with the stars. Okay, they can't get that accuracy with today's technology. They can't build a pyramid today. They can build them out. They can't build them. They can build pyramids today out of what we have, with metals and poles and glass, such as that, the beautiful pyramids over there in Paris. But they can't build the pyramids like that are in Egypt. They can't do it. So why can't they do it today with today's technology? Yet they did it 1,000 years ago with stone, and some of the stone they find was taken from here in the UK. How was that done? Okay, I'm asking you as not only a dreamer of the skies. I'm quite open to say that I'm a dreamer of the skies, but at the end of the day, crikey, with people with pieces of rope, sticks, and stones built the pyramids. Yet today, with all of the technology and the equipment we have, we can't figure that out. A lot of people are saying here on the show tonight that the aliens constructed the pyramids, or probably had a hand in constructing the pyramids. Hmm, I would say that I have to go with that. I would quite comfortably say that that's got to be close to it. Hand pink waving, says Loretta Lewis. Hand stroke pink stroke wave. What does that mean? Hand pink waving. Am I missing something here? Crystal says it's fascinating. It is mind-blowingly fascinating when you see when you watch that show. I know what I saw. It will change your whole concept. It'll change your whole mind. Dawn says, Enki did it. Planet Orange Purple Ring. What does that mean, Crystal? Am I losing something here? Do I believe in alien abduction? Says Lynn. Not. I don't like the concept. I don't know. I don't know. Right. Okay. First and foremost. Secondly of all, abduction tends to lean towards you were taken against your will. Okay. So from what I've watched and of all of the people who have ended up on spaceships and interacted with aliens, um, they don't seem to have fought them off. So abduction is not probably the right word, but alien interaction with human beings, 100%, 100%. There's too many little devices taken out of people that aren't made from metals from our periodic table. So the metal that they're made from doesn't appear, that isn't available on this Earth or the Moon. So right, emojis don't come up, so it just explains. Gotcha. I thought I was losing my mind. I thought to myself, oh my goodness, all right, you're talking in some code. Planet Orange, Purple Ring. It sounds like a code, doesn't it? So, yes, I would say. Now, that being said, I had a dear. She's no longer with us anymore. I'm sad to say. I had a dear friend, by the way, I trusted her 100%. In fact, she was the beginning of me writing the safe way. She said to me, "I want you to write a couple of pages on on practical protection, for psychic protection. And I started writing the pages on it, and the pages kept going and going and going and going until a book came out. Oh, they've implanted Janet Russell, a psychic medium, with something in her ankle. Well, I'd like to see that. I'm not that I'm not believing what you say. I'm not challenging you. I'd like to see. I'd love to see it. As I'm saying, I'm like, wow. Is it flat? Is it just round? Is it gigantic Earth? Who knows if it all exists at all? Says Don Haddam. Don, stay off the booze. Remember at the beginning of the show when I said I was speaking to an energy in the other side of life, and I said to him, "How would you know this if you're dead?" And his words were, "If I'm dead, how could I be talking to you? If we didn't exist, how would we be having this discussion tonight?" All right. If you're listening to us live tonight, you're listening to us on 105.3 to 107.7 FM, all the way from beautiful New Orleans on the United Public Radio Network, uprn.com. So you're listening to us tonight. Please try and interact with the show. Send us in some information. And come and be a part of our show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting us. And get yourself over to YouTube. www.youtube.com, and go into the search bar, type in Paul Francis Medium, come be part of our show. Why not? Otherwise, get yourself across to my website at www.paulfrancis111.com and be a part of that. It's available to you on the bottom of our screen as we speak. So lovely to see so many people in the room tonight. Dawn says I don't drink. I was kidding, Dawn. I know you drink. Anyway, moving onwards. I'm sorry. Yeah, of course you don't. I'm an alien angel, Paul, says Tess Minus. I know you're an angel. I nearly said an alien. I know you're an angel, my lovely darling Tess. And you're a wonderful person, and you have been ever since I met you so many, many years ago. You've been an absolute rock star. So obviously the first half of the show has been dedicated to interactive alien. Why not? That's what the show is all about. It's called the Spirit Quest, the Journey of Life. The Journey of Life consists of normal and paranormal, okay? Or I refer to it now, paralife. You got life and paralife. What's beyond life? There are, I think, I believe in my heart of hearts, okay? And this is my opinion, not heard it from anybody. I believe in my heart of hearts that governments have been interacting with alien visitors for a great many years on levels that we just don't know, on a very much even building up community levels. From what I've in the research that I've done, there are alien communities here. Okay, so I totally believe that. I'm not I'm not losing my mind. I even try to use my psychic abilities, my mediumship abilities, to try and figure that out as well. Now, I was sent to me a dear friend of mine, and then I went off pat there. So she told me that one of her guides was an alien being. All right. Now, she told me that, and I spent many a time in her church. I spent many a time sitting with her, discussing, and and she knew her stuff inside and out. Sadly, no longer with us. Her beautiful name, Zandra, was her name, and Zandra told me that she said one of my guides is an alien, Paul, and I speak with him on a regular basis. And I would never challenge her because I know fact that she was 100%, and she was very an amazing medium, by the way. So I know when I first heard it, hands in the air. When I very first heard it, I was like, what? You think because you when you hear something strange for the first time, your immediate concept is, you're right. I didn't say it out loud, of course, because I'm not that kind of guy. Okay, and I've also been training myself for a long time to not to be judgmental. Who am I to? I'm not qualified to judge another person on this planet, and so I'm not going to do it. But as we spoke over, days, weeks, months, and years, she actually convinced me that one of her guides was an alien. So why not? Why not? They're beings with super interactive powers, because they don't speak verbally; they speak through mind connection. So why not? Crystal and Tess and Dawn and everybody's agreeing with the show tonight, so that's cool. Julia Evans says to me, Julie says, a couple of friends have experienced a loss of time, if that makes sense. Yes, that seems to be one of the factors that people, they're conscious, and then they just can't understand what happened to 1, 2, 3, even 4 hours. What happened to that time, and it's completely blank in their mind. But excuse me 1 second, folks. I'm gonna sorry about this. They can't figure out what happened to the time, and there's a couple of very, very famous cases where the proof was in the pudding, where the people tried to go and find out what happened to the time that disappeared, and it was all found out through hypnosis, regression hypnosis, that in fact they had been taken up on board a spaceship, and they had been tested, little tests, little experiments on them, nothing that would harm them, and they were told, you won't be harmed. And there's a famous one. I'm just trying to remember the name of it now, from back in the 60s, where it was a lovely family. Excuse me a sec. It was a lovely family, husband and wife, and the Hills, Betty and Barney Hill. That's it. Betty and Barney Hill, where they were taken up. In fact, Betty's dress is in a museum at the minute, where you can see this pink stuff that they were using on her, that was actually stained her dress. And they were regressed, and she actually spoke with them on a one-to-one basis. And in fact, she actually was able to get a map from this person, where the specialists who study the universe were actually able to map it, the star map, with actual stars, to figure out where these aliens have come from. Absolutely mind-blowing. Okay. Let's have a wee. Dawn says, I had a life on Mintaka. I had a life on Mintaka. Oh, do share, Dawn. Do share, my love. When you filter the info, then arguably we are all starseeds. Well, yeah. There is an argument for that. I would not, disargue. I'll disargue with you just to draw more information out for our listeners and our viewers. But as for the benefit of the show, but I believe you. I think the Earth was seeded, and it's probably one of the reasons why places like the Vatican won't sign off on alien beings, even though they have evidence proving that alien beings were here. But there we go. Oh, we got another idiot coming in. We'll just block that idiot. There we go. These people who are trying to get, these ones who come in, who ask you, who say they're going to do readings for you, they're con artists. So be aware if anybody comes in without my okay, or without me introducing them to you, they're con artists. Okay, so if they have to hop into somebody else's show, then they got to be con artists. Right. So come on, tell me more. What's your thoughts? And when we pass the spirit, we reside on a different planet. So does that make loved one's spirit aliens? That's a really good point. Okay, that's a really good point. So I brought Crystal's her information up, what she's just shared with us. So Crystal Rose has said, who's going to be, by the way, if you just joined the show, Crystal's going to be my guest on next week's show. So next week happens to be the 16th. So on the 16th, we have special guest Crystal Rose coming to join me on the show. And I will be back with you for Reach Across on the 13th, Monday the 13th. Unlucky for some, but not Mondays. I can't believe we are so far into February. I mean, crikey, January just disappeared, and we're already halfway through February. Well, heading towards halfway through February. So Crystal says, and when we pass the spirit, we reside on a different planet, perhaps. And that's a perhaps. She's not saying this is what happens, because tonight's show, the first part of the show, is what happens when we die. But we'll discuss that momentarily. We'll use that as a second half discussion. Got 15 minutes left of the first half to discuss our interactive with alien spirits. And there's the great link. We reside on a different planet, perhaps. So does that make loved ones in spirit aliens? It's a good question. I'm not going to answer that because I want to answer that with my information in the second half. All right. So it's interesting. Crystalline clear waters and a gentle, pure race and a peaceful planet. That sounds lush. Roger Garza is in the highest. Welcome, Roger. Roger and Faye are with us because he said we're here, brother. Lovely to see you guys. Thanks for being here. I don't know who this wonderful Facebook user who's just sent me a whole pile of hearts, but thank you for sending the hearts, by the way, all the chakra hearts. But please zip across to YouTube, go into YouTube and type in search bar Paul Francis Medium. It'll take you to my channel, my YouTube channel. And then you'll be able to come into YouTube live and I'll be able to see who you are. And thank you personally. Faye's in the house. Faye, welcome. As always, welcome to the show. Lovely to see you. Thank you very much for being here. I might be able to actually make an appearance on your show next Saturday because Johanna's having her hair done, so which means I'm going to have nothing to do for a couple of hours for a change, which then I can use that time purposely and be come onto your show and say hello to everybody, which is something I enjoy doing. I love it. So tonight's first half of tonight's show, we've got 10 minutes of the first half already left to discuss. Alien interaction and alien beings, and maybe how aliens have affected the human race on a spiritual level. That's an interesting concept, isn't it? How have aliens affected us on a spiritual level? Interesting. Kathy, welcome to the show, my love. Good to see you. So how do you think they may have affected us on a spiritual level? Now, I remember having a discussion during a weekend seminar. All right. And it was just a frivolent, throwing stuff out there. It wasn't a very serious sort of mind focused. This is, discussing the possibilities of God and heaven and so on and so forth. Nothing like that. It was just maybe if you think about this, if you think about that, that's an idea that might have happened. So if you think, for an example, some of the things that is written in the Bible that Jesus performed, like the healing. But here's the thing that really makes me kind of really think. When Jesus stood and rose in front of his followers and just rose up into the sky, if you got to think about it, 3,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, and you're not aware of aliens, you're not aware of spaceship travel, you're not aware of any kind of flying being of any kind, and you see this person rise up into the sky, what are you going to say? Are you going to say he rose and ascended into heaven to be with his Father? Yeah. Or are you going to say he was beamed up onto a ship, of which so many people who have been, shall we just use the word for abducted for simplistical sake, not a descriptive, just a simplistical statement. So many people have been levitated and, they've been levitated upward. In fact, there was a lady in New York who was being beamed up into a ship, and two policemen sitting in a squad car observed it happening. So these people are being beamed up. So if we took that situation and the two policemen were two, say, Roman soldiers, and it was around Jerusalem, and all of a sudden they're watching this person being beamed up. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to go, "Oh my God, he is the Son of God. He is ascending into heaven." So, isn't that an interesting concept? Isn't there a crossover there that maybe there was alien activity going on there, and that's what the people observed. But of course, they have no referencing, so therefore they've got the only reference they've got is being told that God has serious wrath, and if you don't do what you're told, God will take his wrath out on you, which is wrong. It's not the case. But it's just amazing. I just, my faith doesn't waver. It doesn't waver, and it's too strong. But I just think some of that stuff is just, hang on a second, it's just like, wow, you know. Somebody said earlier on in the show, maybe the alien beings are coming to the Earth to save the Earth. I would quite easily go along with that one and invite them to as well, by the way. Crystal says the term alien is considered disrespectful from their point of view, but is it? Is it? Because I've never heard an alien say, "Hey, don't call me an alien." In fact, there's a great movie, My Namesake, Paul. It's called, the movie's called Paul the Alien, and one of the guys says to him, "Are you an alien?" And he goes, "To you, I am." I love that. I love these little bits of absolute gems. He goes, he says, "Are you an alien?" And he goes, "To you, I am." I love that. It's amazing. So what I've read, what I've observed, in relation to watching people who've actually interacted with aliens, I don't really think they really care, to be honest with you. So Tina is in the house. Tina, welcome. As always, welcome to the show. But Tina, zip across to YouTube. Come in on YouTube. Far more stable. Dawn says, be basic. Kathy goes, I would invite them to. I think we need to. I think what needs to happen is, I think the alien beings visiting our Earth need to just bypass all the idiots in government, just bypass them all, and just go, hey guys, we're here, all right. And I think when that happens, the people on this Earth will stop being the morons that they are. We don't live in different countries. We all live on the Earth. It's one thing, okay? It just so happens to have. Do you think that sheep in different fields argue with each other? Oh, you're from that field over there. They don't. They go, all right, how you doing? They get on. Just because they're from a different farmer in a different field doesn't mean they got to fight each other, okay? And that's just sheep. So one of the things that I remember I was talking to an astronaut. Yeah, a real astronaut. I visited the Kennedy Space Center, and got the opportunity to chat with this astronaut guy, and he said the thing is, every astronaut that goes up into space comes down a completely different being, different person with hugely different perspectives. So, and his words were, more human beings should go into space and learn and discover that we're literally on a spaceship. We're hurtling through the cosmos together. And the sooner we can understand that we're together as one human race, the quicker we'll drop all this petty crap and get on with being one human race. I can almost hear the song One by U2 in the back of my head now. Cosmic beings. Well, we're all cosmic beings. We're cosmic beings. They're cosmic beings, because we all share the cosmos. We all share the galaxies and the universe together. I like it. I like that idea. There's just absolutely no way that we are alone. No way. I don't agree with that for 1 second. Now it's 12:56 p.m. here in the UK, and you're listening to us tonight on the United Public Radio Network. We're coming to you live on 105.3 through to 107.7 FM, and that's being broadcast to you live from beautiful New Orleans. How is everybody in the United States today? I hope you're all well. Hope you're enjoying your day and your afternoon. Please come in and be a part of our show. We'd love to talk to you. Tina, I find you here now. I hope you're well. Interesting topic. Tina, while you're here now you find us, click the subscribe button on the channel, click the subscribe and the little bell icon. So every time we come live, you'll be notified that we're live, and then you won't have to go searching for us again. That's how cool it is. Now, I was talking about, at the beginning of the show, I was talking about some prizes I'm going to have coming up soon. Now, basically, what I'm going to do is, if you introduce 10 new people to our show, you could well be winning a prize, one of our hats or one of our caps, or you could be working on winning a one-to-one with me. You could be winning an invite to one of our group sessions, our seminars, or you could even be coming out with me on a paranormal investigation. So there's a lot to gain just by sharing the show and getting people to come on board. Alrighty. Now, use your mind. If people come aboard and they subscribe and they click the bell icon and they say your name, the likelihood of you jumping to the top of the list is higher. So each month I'm going to be picking people to win prizes. Why not be one of the prize winners? And I'd love to see a picture of you with the hats and with the beanies, t-shirts, being on a one-to-one with me or in a group session or a seminar. Loads and loads of prizes to be won. Get out there and share the show. A coup for another song, says Crystal. David Bowie, We Are Not Alone. It's not Michael Jackson. You are not alone. I am here with you. Michael Jackson. Now, there's a candidate for an alien, as I've ever saw one. I'm not going to insult any Michael Jackson fan, because I happen to be a Michael Jackson fan myself. His music was amazing. His lifestyle choice as well. Once again, I am not a judgmental person. Live and let live. But hey, I wish he had closer friends who just turned around and went, Mike, don't do that. You don't need to be doing that. Why didn't his friends sit him down and say, Michael, don't do that? You know? Anyway, and I'm a big believer that Michael Jackson is as dead as I am. Right? Tina says, lovely voice. Well, Tina, thank you. That's very, very kind of you. I appreciate that very, very much. And you could win one of my albums. I have 5 albums out, and you could win one of those. You never know. So there we're pretty much halfway through the show already. We've literally arrived at the 12 point. So we're coming into the second hour of the show. And welcome to the show. If you've just joined us, you're listening to Paul Francis on Spirit Quest, The Journey of Life. Tonight we're talking initially about alien interaction and the possibility of how alien life may have sort of given us spiritual connections. I mean, if you look at a lot of the Wiccan concepts, a lot of the Wiccans, Stonehenge, there's so many links that link all of this together, and so many links that all fall back to alien connections, even going back to as far as the pyramids and things of that nature. It's amazing. It's amazing. So the second half of the show, let's dedicate it to what the topic was when I brought him, what I discussed earlier. And that is one of the questions I get asked a lot, and I'm sure Crystal does as well. And that question is, what happens when we die? People ask it to me out of fear, and that's you'd be silly if you weren't frightened of crossing over to the other side of life. I'm a professional psychic medium of 35 years now, and I still have a slight fear of it. Do I have a fear of it? I don't think I have no, I'll retract that. I don't think I have a fear of it, but I'm not in a hurry to go, if that makes sense. Okay. I know there is more to go to, but I think being sort of drummed into you from a very early age, especially a strong end religion, there's suppose there's a little bit of a fear factor goes in there. It's not passing away that's the frightening thing. It's the unknown. That's the frightening thing. And after 35 years and all the information that I've gathered over those years, it still doesn't sort of make things all that easier. It makes it more durable, I guess. But there we go. um so what happens when we cross now? I know what I've picked up over 35 years of work, and I know what I picked up on the two NDEs that I've had, near death experiences. Um, so I can only put together my own synopsis based upon my own experiences. Alrighty. And those experiences are not only my own physical experiences, but the interaction that I've done with spirit for the last 35 years. So I'm coming from a fairly strong background, okay? But I'm not all knowing. I'm still open to learning from everybody, okay? And that's a wise man. A wise man doesn't know what he doesn't know. My family, loved ones, let me just bring Crystal up here on the screen so you can see. My family, loved ones will do my head in after 5 minutes and will want to come back. Yeah. Well, I always said to Johanna, I'll just, I'll haunt her. She said, I'll haunt you too. But the amount of people that I have spoken to over many, many years who all made a pact with each other to say, they'll do something to let the other know that they're there. The house bell or whatever. Why not do something like that with your husband, wife, partner, whatever the case may be? Why not say go out and buy something together specific? Now, there's a good idea. That just came to me, by the way. Why not do that? So go out and buy maybe a crystal bell that the two of you have together, and the crystal bell can sit in a specific place, on show because it'll be beautiful. Or it doesn't have to be crystal; it could be a lovely little brass bell, whatever you choose together. But something like a bell would be easier to use, I think, if you think about it. So when one of you does cross over and you want to let the other know that you're around, you can ring that bell because that's something you agreed together. Okay, that's not a bad idea. I would look at something like that. I've got itchy nose tonight, so spirit must be around me. Um, let's bring up what Tina has just said there. First of all, Crystal says, I feel it's similar to life on Earth, but thoughts are more powerful. Yes, because they're far clearer. We don't have we don't have what we refer to as everyday life, jumbling it up and getting stuck in the mix. So when you're on the other side of life, from when I interacted with my mom on the other side of life, her thoughts were laser sharp. Okay. Tina has said here, I have a fear of dying, but I have no fear of the family reunion when I get there. A very long time from now. Do you know what, Tina? You literally read my mind. One of the things I'm looking forward to is meeting up with all of the people that I've lost, over the many, many years. That's the wonderful part, but I'm not in a hurry to get there. And I'd rather, I'm a medium, so why don't you just talk to me through mediumship? Um, I don't know if it's the fear of dying. Do you know, this might be an idea. Um, I don't know if it's the fear of dying per se. It's more of how we cross would probably hold the fear factor, the fear of the unknown. How we cross. That's probably the fear factor right there. Um, my grandfather, for an example, my grandfather lay in his bed, went to bed with, my grand and granddad went to bed. And my grandmother said around about 2 o'clock in the morning, he gave a couple of coughs, just, but my grandfather, he smoked a pipe. So he would constantly clear his throat when he was talking. She said he gave a couple of coughs and that was it. But she didn't realize he'd passed. He just gave a couple of coughs. And the following morning, she realized he'd gone. But he went to bed with the woman he loved for, I think that they were together 70 years, something like that. And he went to bed and passed over in his sleep. And I remember being, as a kid, we used to say the rosary a lot, and my grandfather, in the middle of the rosary, would be praying for a happy death. And I used to think, what a morbid thing to pray for. But that was it. He prayed for a happy death. And you know what? He was granted it. My grandmother missed him. I think she passed with a broken heart, to be honest with you. So she only passed a couple of years after him. But as Crystal says, that'd be great crack. Yeah, but the family union is going to be amazing. That's I can't wait. No, yes, I can wait, because I want this life that I'm in now to mean something. So, but when I do cross over and I'm with my mom and dad again, that's the bit that I'm looking forward to. So I think the fear is based upon how we cross rather than the actual crossing. Would you agree? Let me know. Contact me here on UPRN, that's the United Public Radio Network, on 105.3 to 107.7 FM, coming to you live from New Orleans. Come and let us know your thoughts on that. It's very interesting to share those thoughts and have a discussion about literally what your thoughts are about that. NDEs and what happens on the other side of life and what happens when we die. Well, let me share with you what I know, okay, what I've interacted, what I've done myself, and let me share with you what I've done. So, from what I've gathered is, as soon as we actually, just before we let go, because there's so much evidence, especially from medical personnel, to say that um, people are starting to interact with loved ones before they cross, because they start talking to people in the room that no one else can see. So the interaction begins before they let go. Okay, I agree with that one 100%. By the way, and then as soon as they let go, they're met with specific people. So a husband might be met with the wife, or vice versa. For an example, with me, I might be met by my mom or dad or both. So we're met with a prominent person who will help them cross over. And as soon as they cross over, they are then met with all of the rest of the family who gone ahead. So, as Crystal says, it's going to be a great crack. There's going to be a party. If it's an Irish connection, there's going to be a long party. um, so Tina says, I need. Crystal says, I need to do the rosary and the Psalms. I always feel better. Prayers are meditation. Yes, prayers are definitely meditation. But I like to say to people as well that prayers are meditation, but you don't have to have specific prayers. Speaking from your heart to loved ones in the other side of life is a form of prayer, and they get that as energy. So Tina says, yes, exactly. Perfectly said. My fear will not stop me from living and enjoying my beautiful family and friends. Couldn't have put it better. Absolutely love that. Kathy says, I don't fear death. What I do fear is how and when. Exactly what I said. I think we're more frightened about how we're going to cross rather than the actual crossing. Now, my darling Faye has put up something. We'll discuss that in a second. I hate getting older, but I know I'm blessed to do so. I hate getting older because I hurt. See, the thing about men and women is this, right? Here's the thing: women are far more, shall we say, mentally trained than men. Okay, you're far more gifted mentally than men are, because men, right? We grow to the age of 19, and then our bodies get older. Our mental capacity stays at 19. Our mental brains, because we're dumb. Men are dumb. Okay, because we say, I can do that. I can do anything. I can do anything. And then we try to do anything and usually hurt ourselves doing anything. So I think I'm a big believer in the concept that men grow to the age of 19 and our bodies just get older. So Faye has said, what about the bad people, the truly bad people? Are they received with open arms on the other side? From what I can gather, Faye, they are met like everybody else. Okay, but their actions still must be dealt with. So karma does prevail. Okay, no matter what these people have done, and let's look at the really, really bad people. You know, the Mansons, the Hitlers of the world, the idiots who just kill people for the sake of it. All of those kind of people, their actions still have to be met, and their karma still has to be settled. Okay, they will still be met by friends and family who meet them, but they still have to fulfill the karma that they created here on Earth, and it still has to be fixed and maintained and settled. The energy has to be settled, and that can take 100 lifetimes just for that to happen. So, you know, they don't get away with it. Um, do I believe in? I'm often spoken to and asked, "Do I believe in hell?" And I say, "Take a look around you." That's my usual response. Take a look around you. Lynn says, my dad lifted his arms and whispered. My dad lifted his arms and whispered he was climbing. When asked what he was doing, he was in hospital. I didn't want to leave him that night. He passed away the next day before we could get back to him. That's interesting. When he lifted his arms and whispered that he was climbing, going up. That's a beautiful thing. I like that. Julie Sharp's joined us. Julie, good evening. Good evening, and welcome to the show, Jules. Julie, thank you for coming in. You come in on Facebook. Let me just show you that's how I see you. Look, if you look at the screen, it says Julie Sharp. That's how I know it's Julie Sharp, but I truly believe in karma. But Julie, please, please, please click on to YouTube. Go on into YouTube in the search bar. Click my name, Paul Francis Medium. That will take you directly to my channel. And you'll see the show that we're interacting with right now. You'll see it, click on it live, and it'll bring you right in. And trust me, the YouTube channel is far more stable than Facebook. And I'll be able to see you as well. So everybody who's talking to me tonight through YouTube, please click on the subscribe button, and please click the little bell icon, so when live shows do come up, you don't miss them, because they'll tell you that we're currently live. Kathy Little says to me, yes, we are living in hell. Oh God, yeah. Things will get better on the other side. Well, I hope. I hope. Well, from what I can gather, from what I pick up, see, let me share something with you guys. Alrighty, as a psychic medium, I was speaking to a wonderful friend of mine today who's very, very religious and a preacher in his own right, and we speak in a very pleasant and a deliberation of sharing our thoughts and our wisdoms together. None of this, you mustn't do this or I mustn't do it, blah blah blah. People ask me, do I believe in religion? Is there a particular religion? I've asked that so many times that and I've never been given a response. But can you imagine if they turned around to me and said Hindu? If they turned around to me and said Hindu is the real, that's all, the rest of them are made up. What kind of life would I have if I turned around and said to everybody, you got to drop Christianism, you got to drop this, drop that, drop Buddhism, you got to drop all of that, and Hindu is the true religion? I probably wouldn't make it through the next week. So there's probably a real strong reason why they've never answered that particular inquiry. But if you do the research yourself, you will find that the root of pretty much every different religion out there is peace and harmony with each other. That's the root. So we're all coming from the same root. Why don't we just drop the labels? Stella Wood says, Paul, I've switched to YouTube, and you are a superstar, Stella. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for coming across to YouTube. Make sure you click on the subscribe button, and make sure you click that little bell icon, and make sure you like all the videos. All you guys who are watching me on YouTube tonight, smash that like button and share the show. It's important that you share. Tonight's show is fantastic, and I'm looking at the time, and we're already, quarter of the way through the second half. I can't believe it. All religions are based on the same beliefs. There is an element of similarity with them. I would agree with that, Kathy. Yes. And it's why I live my life based upon what I've sort of deemed as the best parts of all of them. I kind of refer to myself these days as a recovering Catholic, because every religion has its benefits and every religion has its flaws. And I'm a personal belief in whatever religion you are following. If it brings you comfort, happiness, and peace, then it is spot on correct. Okay, that's what it's about. In my own search for who I am, I still find today absolute tranquility and peace sitting in a cathedral and being in the energy is just heaven. Good word for it, heaven. When I'm sitting near a brook or a stream, cross-legged and meditating and working on the Zen Buddhist energies, heaven, total heaven. Jesus said, and it says in the Bible, on this rock I build my church. He didn't mean a beautiful big building with tall towers and bells and beautiful stained glass. He meant on this rock here in the heart with the soul. Meaning, and there's one a commandment that he made that hasn't made it into the top 10, the 10 commandments. There's one that he made one command, and nobody seems to be preaching it. And that commandment was, forget all the rules and just love each other. Why isn't that one branded out there every single week in the Sunday chapels and churches all over the world? Drop all the rules and just love each other. Sounds like a plan to me. Hazel has shared with us. Let me just bring Hazel up here. Hazel says, I held my dad as he lay in bed in a coma. I knew it was time. I saw who I think was Peter, a long white beard and hair. So I'm assuming when you say Peter, you're talking about the apostle. A long white beard and white hair, so bright. And he said, Harold, come to me, with his arms open, and my dad passed. It was beautiful. Hazel, what a beautiful story to share. That's an amazing story, and thank you very much for sharing it. And if you believe that was St. Peter, then you are 100% correct, okay? Because you will get an energy and a feeling and a connection that none of the rest of us have. And here's the thing, the strength that you had to support your father in that way, amazing. And I bet you anything you like, he's very, very grateful for your courage and being there. And so well done, you girl. Thank you very much for sharing that. Beautiful. Stella says, I've been to choral service at the Wells Cathedral. It was beautiful. Oh gosh, yeah, I can totally agree with that. Weirdly enough, I get the same vibration when you listen to the Russian choirs. When you get to hear the men singing, their vocal tones are just stunning. Now, not all Russian people are bad. They're not all Russian people want to be a part of this stupid war. It's just the idiots at the top. So I send my love and strength out to both sides so that they find an avenue of peace and put down the tools and work to build together. That's what I send out. But when I'm listening to the choirs and the Russian vocals are just, oh God, heavenly. It's like the Gregorian monks. I can listen to them all day as well. Absolutely amazing. We're having a great show tonight. Thank you very much for being here. Hazel says he's one of my guides. Well, here's the thing, Hazel. You say he's one of my guides. I'm told. You shouldn't be told. You should know. Now, as it happens, that's a really cool link into what I'm about to share with you. The reason why I'm saying that is I'm going to be doing a seminar very, very shortly on Meet Your Guides. Okay. So if you want to be a part of that seminar, make sure that you guys send me an email. Said, hey, Paul, I want to book a place on that seminar that you discussed on your show. So it's going to be a mini seminar. When I say a mini seminar, I do mean a mini seminar. It's going to be a seminar based on 10 people only. So the first 10 to be selecting their slot will be the 10 that get there. And be doing this. The first seminar is on how to meet your guides, and that'll be happening. Dawn says, my dad sings in Truro Cathedral. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love it. My eldest son, says Julia, sang a solo at Wells Cathedral. It was fantastic. Oh, I bet you it sent shivers up the hairs in your arms stood up and up the back of your neck. It's something. It's something I'd like to experience one day. Being a part of a choir in one of the cathedrals and singing, I would like to try that one day. To have said I've done that. I've sang on many big TV shows. I've sang on huge stages around the world. I performed in front of thousands and thousands of millions of people, in fact. So yeah, I've done it. And music's still a very big part of my life. All the music you hear in the backgrounds of my shows are written by yours truly. So music is the food of the soul. Okay, so even if you have never picked up an instrument, you've still got time in your life to learn one. It's very, very beneficial in so many ways. So many ways. It drops your anxiety, it drops your stress levels through the floor. When you start just strumming a guitar or playing on a piano or learning how to play a violin or a cello, whatever instrument you choose, your stress levels drop through the floor. And I tell you what, it does not do you a lot of good for mental issues as well. So if you're Alzheimer's, anything like that, it's now proven that music actually helps to heal in that area of illness for people. So give it a shot. Give it a shot. I've seen James, and let's bring Hazel up here so I can read it better on this side. I have seen him. James is another guide, and Saint Bernard of Clairville is there. Right, that's wonderful. Love it. So let's go back to what we were talking about tonight's topic. What happens when we die? So literally, my understanding is, as soon as we let go, we are greeted by our friends and family, who we've mourned. So can you imagine what that's going to be like? So the day that I let go of my mom and dad meet me first, elated, and then my grandparents and my aunts and uncles and my friends who gone before me. You imagine what that's going to be like. It's going to be mind-boggling, mind-blowing. So there's a lot of sort of misdirection by a lot of quack mediums who feeding people a little rubbish. Like one I was told was telling his clients that their friends and family in spirit were in hospital in spirit. Let's change my mindset before I start losing my mind again. Uh, so we would like to hear from you what your thoughts are on what happens when we cross over. On NDEs are slightly different because NDEs you don't go the entire distance, you don't go the whole way. Now, another way I was taken over was in a very profound meditation. I was taken across the veil, through the veil, and my mother met me. And I'm going to share this with you. I went in this meditation. I was completely gone. I was out of my body. Okay. And I remember walking through this field, and I was walking through this gateway, and the gateway had a kind of a Gothic, churchy kind of look to it. And I walked through the gateway, and there was a little kind of a stone yard, and my mother met me, and she came down and she put her hand through my arm. But the weird thing about it, now, this is why I know it wasn't a dream, because she didn't speak to me. As much as I was like, oh my God, it's my mom. Oh my God, my mom. And she walked me literally into this kind of corridor, which had a wall on my left, and it was open. If you can imagine a big open window, but with no window in it. So it's, the wall space, but no window. I was looking out to the right, and I could see the fields where I was in before. And she kept walking me along. Now, the best way to describe this place where I was in would be like Hogwarts. If you're a Harry Potter fan, it was like Hogwarts. It looked like that. So we walked up, and then there was an alcove to my left, and I could see all these kids playing, and I could see these two people. I managed to just kind of glance at them quickly, and my mom was kind of frog marching me onward. And then there was a gentleman standing. There was a step, and the step was about, I don't know, 8 inches up, sort of like you would call a big step. And there was a man standing there, and he was looking at me, and he wasn't looking at me in any kind of like judgment way. He was just kind of looking at me. Um, he wasn't smiling or anything, just looking at me. And my mom said, "This is the one. This is the one I told you about." And he said, "Okay, come with me." And my mom just said, "Go with him." Now, I've just met my mom. You got to get this. I want you to get this into your head. And this happened. Okay, I've just met my mom, who I'd lost. My dad was still alive at this time. So I've lost the my mom, my best friend, the giver of my life. And I mourned her severely. Okay, so she doesn't speak to me. That's the whole thing about this, right? If this was a dream, that my dream would be putting together a conversation between me and her, but it didn't happen. She just frog marched me to this guy, who then said, "Come with me." And he was kind. Don't get me wrong, he was kind. So I said, "Okay." And mom just looked at me and went, "Yeah, go with him." So we walked off, and he took me gently, kind of just gently ushered me around the corner to the right, where we walked along a little bit, and he put his hands up like that, and these doors opened. And like, again, big cathedral doors. Imagine these beautiful big wooden Gothic style doors opened up. And it was like, I don't know if you guys are listening to me in America or other parts of the world. There was a TV show here many, many years ago called Stars in Their Eyes, where people walk through this kind of fog of, you know, smoke, and then they turned into the person they love. Anyway, so it opened up. There was light, and there was like smoke, and that's the only way I can describe it. It wasn't smoke as in coming from a pipe or a cigarette, and it wasn't coming from a smoke machine, but it was there. All right, so try and get that into your vision in your mind's eye. And I walked into this. Now I don't remember what happened in the other side. Okay. Next thing I know, we're walking back through this thing, and he turned to me and he put his hand on my shoulder, and he said, "You will be allowed to remember when you need it." And I was like, "Okay." Now, I remember thinking about that afterwards, but I was thinking about it with my mind as it is now, not my mind at that time, because my mind at that time just went, "Yeah, okay, got it." So whatever I was shown was significant. But he put his hands on my shoulder and very gently said, "You'll be allowed to remember when you need it." I went, "Okay." So he walked me right back to where he picked me up, and my mom was standing there, and she was smiling at me, big, big smile. And this time when she put her arm into mine, you put your arm through, she pulled me in tight, and she was so happy. Oh my God, her energy was amazing. And she goes, "I'm very proud of you. I'm so very proud of you." And and that's what I was thinking I would have got in the first place when she met me, but no, blank. So we're walking along, and she goes, "You're doing really, really well. You just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing really, really well." And again, so this time when we're walking back that corridor, I glanced, because the alcove is on my right this time, because it's on my left on the way up. So therefore, it's on my right on the way down. And all these kids were still playing, and they were having such a fun time. If you can imagine a school playground on a beautiful summer's day is full of children laughing and giggling and having fun. And there was these two people, and I looked at them this time because I had a better chance of looking at them. And I was looking at them, I remember thinking, I know those people, you know? And I was walking along, mom was chatting to me. At this point, I'm thinking, I know them people. I know them. And then it dawned on me who they were. And I didn't say anything to my mom, I just was walking along and she stopped. She stopped me like that. And she looked at me and she goes, they are who you think they are. And I was like, oh my God, you can read my mind now? And she goes, yes, they are who you think they are. So she walked me on down to where the little gateway where she met me. And she said, I'm very, very proud of you. She goes, you're doing really, really well and you're going to be great. And she let me go through and she goes, and don't worry, we'll be here when the time's right. And that was it. I still don't know what I was shown, but I know this. Ladies and gentlemen of the world, I'm about to share with you what I know. I know the gentleman who took me around and brought me through and showed me whatever I was supposed to say said, don't worry, the world will be fine. So I was, whatever it is he showed me, I don't know. But he said literally, don't worry, the world will be fine. And my mom gave me all the support that I expected her to give me on the initial meeting and said, keep on doing what you're doing and you're doing a good job. So that's why I've never given up. It's been quite a few times through my career that I've just wanted to pack up and walk away from this because I kept coming home stressed out with people trying to test me, telling me I'm doing the devil's work, telling me like, convince me you're right and all that kind of, and I just, I had a really big music career before I gave that up to become a full-time medium. People were saying to me, you're out of your mind. Why are you giving that career up? You're literally at the top. But my heart, my soul, my wisdom, my every essence of who I was saying that is not, that's a training to get you to where you need to be. You're now on the path where you're supposed to be. Many years ago, I was in a cathedral and I was starting to have all of these energies happen. I was all these knowings and these things were going on constantly. And my uncle in Ireland was a bishop. Now everybody, including yours truly, believed I was having what we refer to as the calling. Now the calling, literally, I was convinced, and they were all convinced that I was going to be a priest. Totally went with that. I was going, this, it has to be, because all of these things are happening and I'm giving wisdom beyond my years and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so I'm in Armagh Cathedral. Look that up, ladies and gentlemen. Stunning, mind-blowing place. Armagh is spelled Armagh in the north of Ireland. So type in Armagh Cathedral and have a look at that cathedral. My uncle was the bishop of it, Bishop James Lennon. And because my uncle was the bishop, I could go in wherever I wanted in the cathedral. So one afternoon, I literally went in and I thought, right, at this point, I'm convinced I'm going to be a priest. So, so I go in and I can walk up into the pulpit and I'm walking up the steps to the top of the pulpit. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what it's going to be like to give a sermon. And I'm thinking, clear as a bell like this. Now, this is real. This is not a dream. This actually was real. So it's beautiful red velvet and beautiful carved stone. I mean, gorgeous, stunning. And I put my hand on the velvet and look out over the chapel, the church. I can't remember how many thousand people sits in that church, but anyway, it's big. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what it's going to be like to give a sermon, And I literally heard, folks, I don't lie. I don't, this is the truth. I literally heard the words, not like this, not this way. So I looked behind me thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be told off for being up here. So I looked behind and I heard it clearly, not like this, not this way. And as gentle as that, it came across like this. It was not like this, not this way, like that. Like sort of like passing comment. So I looked behind me, there was nobody there. I walked sort of part of the way down the steps and there was nobody there. And I went, sorry, what? And they went, not like this. You won't work like this. So I walked on down the steps, and my mom, who was donate her time to the cathedral, and she was cleaning in the cathedral, and my mom said, she looked over me and she said, "Hey, well, how did it fit?" Thinking, what's it going to be like to be a priest? And I said, I shook my head in a negative way, I went, "No, mom, no, not like this, like that." And those are the words I shared with her. And as quick as a whip, my mom's humor was really fast. Quick as a whip, she went, oh well, at least I won't have to call you father. And she carried on working. But that was my mom. And I walked down the aisle of the cathedral. I mean, I bowed to the altar as show respect. And I walked out. I took some holy water and I made the sign of the cross on my forehead. And I walked out of the cathedral, and it was like, oh my God, it was like a whole pile of worries and stresses and things like that just lifted off my shoulders. And I didn't know, still to this day, I knew I was going to be working, but I didn't know how. Then many years later, I ended up working in the churches of the spiritual churches, doing sermons and teachings and things like that. So I ended up doing what I was going to be doing, kind of priest, but just not in the way that I thought I was going to do it. So whoever it was, and I think it was probably my guide Sean, said to me, "Not this way, not like this, not this way," and I ended up doing it. So these are things that I want to share with you guys tonight that are all real. They all happen, and it's all people who have crossed over helping you. And this is something I try to teach you guys on a daily basis, a weekly basis, monthly and annually basis. That our friends and family who are in spirit, who have made that transition, who are in the next life, okay? When we cross to the other side of life, our inhibitions, our politics don't come with us. So it's kind of like when you cross over, you hang up your coat of inhibitions. So all of the things you might think deemed to be important now get hung up. And how I liken that is this. Well, I say to people, okay, let me show you what it's like. I say to you, do you remember when you were 16? What was important to you? All right, actually, do you know what? I'm going to share that with you guys now. I've got about 15 minutes left anyway. So listen, I'm going to ask you guys this question. What was important to you when you were 16? Literally, come put your mind back to 16. Me, it was music, because I was into my synthesizer, but it was Bruce Lee. I was a big fan of Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan and ninjas, and I was into martial arts. So then I said, with girls tend to be, pop stars and boyfriends and blah blah blah. So I said, okay, then you move up to 18. What changes between when you turn 18 till you're from 16? Well, I'll become an adult, so I start thinking like an adult. Okay, but it's still your life, but you change. Okay, so what happens when you're 21? What's the difference between 21 and 16? And people are evaluating the differences. And I say, okay, just jump to 25. Now you've got two children. You're married with a husband, a house, and a career. And so what's the difference between 16 and now? And basically what it is what I'm showing you is what was important when you were 16 is no longer important. It was slightly more important when you were 18. Then it started to fade when you were 20, 21, and it probably disappeared when you got to 25. The difference is you let it go. Same thing when we cross over. The stuff that we deem to be important isn't. We let it go. What we do carry with us is the love. All the love that we manage to have here in both receiving and giving, we carry that with us. That is the bonds that connect us between here and our loved ones on the other side of life. So all of our friends and family who have crossed over, the bonds of love we had with them whilst they were here still connect us to them in spirit. And that is how they're able to connect back to you. And that's why I say openly, be aware they are trying to talk to you. Be open to how they talk to you, and be open to receiving their how they're trying to link to you. It can be in multiple ways. For example, today I literally spoke about that thing about being up on the pulpit and hearing the words "not this way, not like this," and a robin landed on a little water bath outside my garden window, French doors, and a robin landed on it and was looking in through the door. Does well, a robin is the link between me and my mom and dad, and Johanna as well. Robin is the link between us and them in spirit. So as I was talking about her, boom, a robin landed in the little bird bath and was looking in at us. There you go. So if you're aware of these connections, they will make the connections. So I hope you guys are enjoying the show tonight. I'm really enjoying it. You can tell when you're enjoying it because it rockets past. I can't believe we're nearly at 1:45 the hour. So we're coming close on the end of the show. Are you enjoying tonight's show? Let me know. Faye says that's a wonderful dream. To get confirmation from your mom that you are on the right track, and she is so proud of you. Faye, thank you very, very much. To this day, I still feel it. I still feel what I felt in the connection. So it was the meditation was so strong that I left my body, I left my physical body, and I went to what I would say I crossed the veil. I really do feel I crossed the veil, and my body just functioned without me because I didn't feel any connection to me here. I just felt the connection that my mom, because I could feel her arm in mine because she wasn't the tallest of persons. My mom was only about 5'1", so I remember her pulling me in and saying that how proud she was of me. I mean, I was completely bemused on the way up when she first walked with me. It was like she was pulling me along and like guiding me to go and see this guy, and wouldn't speak to me. That's the bit that bemused me. I couldn't, to this day, I still don't understand why that happened. But anyway, on the way back, she more than made up for it because everything that she said, and I remember every word that she said to me, and I remember the feelings that went with it, and I've never forgotten that. Never forgotten that. And when I'm a bit sad sometimes, or I'm a bit down, or whatever the case may be, I very often refer to these scenarios. And these are the things that I tell you guys, that when our friends and family come to us in the dream state, and we call that a visitation, you can refer back to these visitations. You can call them a dream if you want. It's okay. No matter what the label is. It's the action and the experience that's important. You can refer back to those experiences and still draw on the energy that they gave you at the time, because it's 100% pure, and that energy does never subside. Good evening, Pascal. Welcome to the show, my friend. Good to see you here tonight. Hazel said, really enjoyed the show. Lovely to hear your stories of spirits. Very beautiful. Thank you, Hazel. I appreciate that. Dawn says, my dad is a robin or a butterfly. Yes. And Julia said that my dad's a robin or a butterfly or feather. My daughter is a dandelion fairy. What a beautiful thing, Dawn. Love that. PK Aerial Photography. Patrick Kennedy says, hello from America. Hi, Patrick Kennedy. What a good Irish name, Patrick Kennedy. Patrick, welcome. Lovely to see you in the show. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. We are very, very close to the end of the show, but I appreciate you taking the time out nonetheless. Hazel, if you would be so kind, before the end of the show, why don't you zip across over to YouTube, click onto YouTube, and in the search bar, type in my name, Paul Francis Medium, and join the show there. Then click on the subscribe button and the little bell icon. But more importantly, you guys, please link and like the show. Share the show with your friends and family. Tell them to come on and be a part of it. Tina says, I'm enjoying listening. Have a wonderful night. Sending much love and light and healing energies to you all. Tina, thank you. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that very, very much. And so does everybody else who's getting it from you. It's really important. Weird. I just heard a gentle knock on the door then. Spirit must be around me. I'll be back with you guys on Monday night. That's Monday the 13th. But don't forget, in between now and then, you're going to have Faye and Roger and Faye, and their show on Saturday. Now, it's Saturday morning in the United States, which is around about 10:30. If you guys share the time with this tonight, put it up on the post here. I'll bring it up on the screen so people can see. But they have a great show called This Mug's for You. Now, for us here in the UK, it's around about 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So if you got nothing to do on Saturday afternoon, why not come in and join this show? It's a great show, great discussions, better than this one because the discussions tend to be a lot. And I will be back with you on Monday. So Monday is Reach Across Live, where I do all the reads and the cards, and I answer your questions connected directly to Spirit. Do come and join me, and please, please, please help me build the Paul Francis community. Help me build that up, and the only way I can do that is with your help. So I'm more than happy to work, but I need you guys to give me a hand to get there. Already. Enjoyable show immensely, says our darling Faye, and loving the information. You guys are so supportive. I am absolutely blessed to have you as friends, and Roger called me his brother, which I don't take lightly. By the way, I really, it makes me feel so part of you guys. It's amazing, and Faye just talks about my books over and over and over, which sometimes I feel slightly embarrassed because I feel like, oh my God, Faye should literally be my marketing manager. She should. But if Faye is getting from my books what she says, then you know what? That book was worth writing just for what Faye gets from it. It's beautiful. I love it. Stella says, great story, Paul. Thank you, Stella, my darling. It's 100% honest. I don't tell any. What's the sense or what's the point in telling lies? You'll get tripped up at a later point. And what benefit is it? Doesn't benefit anybody, especially yours truly. So Patrick says, I 100% need a reading. Well, Patrick, I'll be doing live reads next Monday night. If you want to become part of the show, then it will be 8 p.m. our time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern. So 8 p.m. GMT and 3 p.m. in Eastern for the United States. So enjoy your day tomorrow. Enjoy Friday. Communicate, appreciate, and validate. I say this in every show, no matter what the title. What that mean? What does that mean? Communicate, appreciate, and validate. Well, communicate. Talk to the people that are important to you. Appreciate them. Okay, then validate them by letting them know you are so appreciative of them being a part of your life. So in our house, even right down to our youngest, we don't part on ever saying I love you. My oldest daughter still comfortable in saying love you, Dad, and my son, I love you, Dad. All of my children are quite comfortable telling each other we love each other because that is the common thing in our house. It's normal in our house for to tell each other we love each other. We never go to bed on an argument, and I never leave the house without telling the guys who are around me at the time, love you guys. I'll see you soon. Because that could be the last time I see them physically. So bringing that all down into a smaller compact way of saying it is communicate, appreciate, and validate everybody in your life so a medium never has to do it for you. All right. Here's my rule, and I ask you and implore you to take this rule on. Take at least 15 minutes out of every day just for you. Take 15 minutes out of every day just for yourself. Switch off your cell phones, your mobile phones, the house phone, and just even turn the TV off and just enjoy life for 15 minutes just for yourself. Half an hour if you can stretch it to that. And take that time out and let your endorphins rise. And that alone will start the healing process in your body. De-stress, enjoy life to the max. That's the best advice I can give you. You want to honor those who have crossed over? Be the best you can be here. Tina says, I love your book. Tina, I love the very fact that you shared that. Thank you so much. My book is available. I'll just put up a banner for anybody who wants to get it. You can go directly to my website. You can get my book from my website, or there are different outlets such as Amazon or Waterstones. They all do my book. Now, there's somebody else that's using my name. So how you'll know my books is my books will always have my face on it. Okay. One of the versions of my books has an angel on the front of it, but the latest version of the Safeway has yours truly's mugs on it. It's a black and white cover with my face on it. So get yourself a copy of that. I promise you it's a good read. My second book that's available from Amazon and Waterstones is The Little Book of Quick Wisdom. So you can get yourself a hold of that as well. Anyway, this Mugs for You is on Saturday morning, 10:30, which is Central Time with Roger and Faye. I implore you to be a part of that. You'll enjoy it. And there's Roger said that as well. And until I see you again, make sure you look out for each other. Look out for yourself. Okay. And here's a good question. I'm going to leave you pondering a question. Okay. How can the world exist if you're not here? How can the world exist if you're not here? Look after yourselves, and I will see you on Monday. All right. Until I see you on Monday, just enjoy the weekend and have a bit of fun. See you soon.